Hello to the side and back. Welcome to Bubbly Toki. I am your host Tokika Uzuru, also known as Toki, that is Loki but with a T, Toki. And today we're going to be talking about hair. But before we get on to today's topic, one, my voice is back. Yay! Two, the tea that I'm drinking today is green tea with ginger because, of course, seeing as though my voice decided to say sayonara, I now have to get back into being very vigilant. I have to be very on point with doing my vocal warm-ups and practice so I can get back to how my voice was before I ended up getting sick. Yay! Third thing I want to go ahead and mention before I get into the video is if you end up hearing some sort of background noise, one, it's after school. As much as I wanted to go ahead and do this video earlier, there was something that came up, and well, now I'm doing it now. I'm still doing it on the day that I usually film my videos, so it's not like it's a bad thing. But I kind of like getting it done around around noon. Although I like this lighting though. I'm really for this lighting. We actually got through all of that real quick. So now we can go ahead and deal with more of the things that I've written down in my journal here. The topic of hair, more specifically, things that I have learned from dyeing my own hair for the first time. Now, I'm not sure if everyone does these types of videos. I do know had I seen one of these videos before, where they go ahead and show you how they dyed their hair and also talked about how they did it for the first time, like all of their initial reactions to it. I probably would have been a lot more informed than I was when I did it. So it's actually coming up to it being a full year since I've bleached and dyed my hair. I believe around this time next month as in January of 2020. That's scary. But yeah, it will be almost exactly a year since I've bleached my hair for the first time and tried to dye it blue, but it ended up coming out as like an indigo. Boy, do I wish I was doing YouTube back then, because then I could have literally just posted that entire thing and have this as a hair channel instead of what I want to turn it into. And now that I've rambled for long enough, right, I'm actually wearing red today. Because it's a shirt that I don't really wear that often, I decided to wear it as PJs. I really like the shirt, especially with the pants that I'm wearing right now. It looks really good. I'm questioning why I don't wear the shirt that often. It also feels kind of like a crop top, where it's long enough where nothing is showing, but I also wear high-waisted pants. So I'm not sure. That's, again, off topic. And we're going to get into the actual list before I go off on another tangent. Yay. Number one, or these are not numbers, these are more bullet points. But the first thing I've written down here is that everyone's hair reacts differently to bleach. It does. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to go ahead and say it out loud. For the people in the back, I like using that now. I like using that now. But I'm going to say it louder for the people in the back. Bleaching your hair will always end up damaging your hair. That's just the bottom line. Because in order for your hair color to lift, it needs to open up the cuticles and take out as much pigment as it possibly can. Yeah, it's going to end up damaging your hair anyway. But all you got to do afterwards is just take care of it so it doesn't feel like it's damaged. It might feel very dry though. Second bullet point, which should have been the first one to be honest, and I will end up saying this in every video that I talk about things such as coloring your hair. My brain went blank there. Always do your research. Personally, me, if I'm going to make sure that everyone knows, I know exactly what I know like the basics of what I'm talking about, I will do the research. If my main project that I decided to go ahead and put out just a few videos ago, which is again a couple weeks ago, doesn't tell you that I do my research before I decide, hey, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this specific subject because I want to actually sound like I am educated. Third bullet point. There are times in which you probably won't have to bleach your hair. If you just want to go ahead and change it to a darker shade, or if you want to go ahead and do like some sort of different color cast. Like if your hair is already dark and you just want, when your hair hits the light, for it to look purple, I'm gonna say, so like a raven type black, you probably won't need to bleach your hair. Or if your hair is like a dark brown and you want to go ahead and change it to a jet black, you don't need to bleach your hair. That's just unnecessary damage. So if you want to go a darker shade of your natural hair color, or not have the color to be as bright and dramatic, you don't need to bleach it. I am picking at my lip again. Number 5. Next one. Your hair will act differently. Your hair has the potential of acting differently after you bleach and color your hair. So for a lot of the naturalistas on YouTube, all of those products that actually worked for your head, although you should probably already be used to having to change up the products you use because your hair is like, you know what, we were kicking with it earlier, we're not now. Yeah, that's basically what's going to end up happening, especially if your hair is like very dry or like naturally dry, such as the kinkier or curlier hair textures. It's gonna act differently. Next bullet point. There's a safe way to bleach and dye your own hair at home. However, I will go ahead and put the disclaimer out there. If you do not feel comfortable with doing it yourself, you need to go ahead and do research on getting a trusted professional to do it. My nose itches. Next bullet point. And this one just depends on like how much the color clings to your hair. Also the type of shampoo you use when you wash your hair, the type of dye that you used when you colored it. But standard for semi-permanent hair color or hair dye is about 5 to 8 washes before you have to refresh the color. We're getting through this. There's a back. As I was writing this, I literally ended up writing all of this last night. I sat down at the dinner table, and while watching GT Live, I was just writing down. Was I watching GT Live yesterday? Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't yesterday. It was yesterday. It was just that morning. So I wasn't watching GT Live. I remember I was writing something while I was watching GT Live. I was working on something. Completely off topic. But next bullet point. In general, or like general rule of thumb, just for safety purposes, go for the 20 volume developer. The strongest that you can possibly go, and that's only for the people with very, very difficult to take to chemicals type hair, is 30 volume developer. But that's only for like the strongest and darkest hair type and color. I already talked about that one. Next bullet point. Make sure you have all of your supplies. So make a list of all of the supplies that you would need, such as bleach, 20 or 30 volume developer, a bowl to mix it in, a color brush. I don't know what else to call it. Color brush. An applicator brush to help with actually putting, whether it would be like the bleach or the color on your hair, like painting it on. Gloves, because you don't want to stain your hands. You also don't want to risk burning off your skin with bleach. That sounds a bit harsh. I'm not sure if that's actually happened or not. And this also goes with it. When you get the supplies, read all of the directions first before you even decide, yes, I'm going to go ahead and part my hair now, and I'm going to go ahead and try to mix it now and get started now. Read the directions, but don't just read to get through it. Read to understand. That's how you can go ahead and prevent several preventable issues or problems. Another general rule of thumb: if your hair texture is a bit thicker, then you might need to go ahead and use a bit more bleach than if you ended up seeing like a looser hair texture try to bleach their hair. This slips into the next bullet point that I put down. It's better to have to make 2 separate batches of bleach than to try to make one big batch and the chemicals will only work up to a certain point. Then it's just like damaging. So it's better to make small or regular sized batches than to make a huge batch and you have some left over, so you end up having to go ahead and dump a good portion of the bleach and developer out because you wouldn't be able to use it. It would be more damaging to your hair. If you want a crazy hair color, do not go for box dye. You don't know the type of developer that they use for it. You don't know the type of chemicals that they have in whatever it is. It's better to go ahead and go to like a trusted beauty supply store, such as Sally's Beauty Supply. Not sponsored, but that's actually where I got most of my hair bleaching stuff. But if you're going for a dramatic color such as pink, blue, green, what have you, purple, I like a lilac. Okay. Then it's best to, if you know that you're going to want to change the color later on, then it's best to get semi-permanent. Because semi-permanent kind of acts like a tint, if you will. You would be able to rinse it out properly. Which is why it would end up, you would have to redo it every 5 to 8 washes. And actually, the last one on my list is, if you do not feel comfortable bleaching and dyeing your own hair, if you do not feel like you need to do all of that, you would want to do all of that research just to bleach and dye your hair, find a trusted professional to do it. Trusted professional hair colorist. Colorist? Person that specializes in coloring, in hair coloring. Yeah, it's colorist. I'm slightly lost now. Yeah, colorist. I'm gonna go with that one. And that's about it, actually. I'm done. I got through the entire list. So, what am I doing? What am I doing? Right. See, my brain decides that it's a good idea to go completely blank out of absolutely nowhere. updates. Right now, I am working on writing another song after a literal long but time of not working on a song. All of the ones that I have posted already were written previously were written not a long time ago, but before I even decided to restart or reboot up my channel. So I'm actually working on another song right now, and I feel kind of happy about it. Although it might end up becoming depressing the way that I'm writing it. I don't know. I haven't finished it yet. My next video will actually be a very, very important one. Important to me, and important to how the rest of this channel will be going. I had to rethink several things, and I finally gotten to a conclusion. So I'll be talking about that next week. I actually like this shirt. I've said this earlier. I like it. Probably if I had makeup on, I'd be making this. It looks pink on camera. It's red. Well, looks more coral, to be honest. But like a dark coral, like magenta. Magenta from Blue's Clues. You know what? This is not sponsored, but Blue's Clues? Great. Great. Okay. Any more updates that I want to go ahead and talk about before I end this? No. No, I think I said all of the ones that were very important. At least right now. Anything else? Right. So this is actually not going to end up being, I'm just going to bring this up in like slight passing. That's what it is. There's this thing that's happening over in the YouTube sphere, and this very specific person that has done a lot of really bad things is finally getting consequences for all of their actions. And I am right now living for it. I personally like watching drama unfold and thank the high heavens that none of it is happening to me. I can at least say that that's exactly what happens. I am entertained. But yeah, this very bad person, this person that has done very bad things, not just on this platform, but on several others, and like in real life in general, he's finally getting the karma that's coming back to him. And I am living for it. I might end up talking a bit more about it later on. I don't know. It depends on what ends up happening and whether I would want to put all of the information into like a short about 15-minute video. That's going to be very difficult. Shoot. He tried to do the frickin' X-Files. Something similar to the X-Files. That didn't work. That thing was almost an hour long. But I watched all of it because I love the drama. Okay, we should end this video now. So, if you have anything that you would like to add on to the list of things that probably you have learned, if you've ever dyed your own hair, or maybe talk about your experience if you went to like a trusted professional and they actually did a good job, or whether you have any type of horror stories about getting your hair bleached and dyed. I will take those too. That'd be very interesting to know. Of course, it's going to end up kind of messing with my paranoia about going to hairdressers that I don't know and having them put chemicals in my hair or heat in my hair. Yep, I've become that type of person. I will do the type of research it takes for me to be able to do the type of thing I want to do with my hair. And this might be one of the last and or few videos like this where it's just a random topic that I write down a list for. I felt like this was necessary, especially the timing for it. I felt like it would. I also might end up having to do like an entire video of me bleaching the roots that decide to grow in, and now they're like super long, so it's not just roots, it's like half the length of my hair. Also comment below if you want me to go ahead and film that too, because I might end up doing so. Now that I got another phone that I can go ahead and put all of the footage on. That'll be very fun. Very. And that's about it, honestly. I would say if you want me to talk about other topics, just put them down in the comment section below, but that video for next week. Better yet, give me ideas of things that I can put into song form, because I already have a couple of ideas. I just need to actually work on them, and I want to write more songs. I want to write more songs. I just don't feel like working on them because writer's block. And this video has gone on long enough. So, like, share, comment, subscribe. That's how that's usually going. And I mean, you can if you want to. I don't care at this. I care, but like, you can also do what you want. I'm not telling you what to do at this point. And I will most definitely see you in the next video. In the next video? I'm confused at what I'm doing at this point. I will see you next week. That's what it is. Toki, out.